so we are going to look at the second part of working with lists. Okay, I want to make the videos as short as possible. Okay, so here we are having a list here, and this list scrolls actually. So if I'm going to say generate 100 items, it is going to scroll. Okay, let me rebuild. It is going to scroll. Okay, so you see the items scroll. All right, now here this episode we are not looking at list. You are going to look at, you are going to get confused. Don't worry, the more you practice, the more you understand. So we are going to look at a grid view. So with a grid view, it displays the items in a grid. Okay, but then I'm not even going to use this. Let's just go straight forward to grid view dot builder. Okay, or we can simply say count. If you say count, we are using this count. Okay, so count simply means this is the cross axis. Sorry, so this is the cross axis. Okay, that means from left to right. Okay, so if I say 2, it's going to create a grid view with a cross axis of this, but because there's no data here, yeah, you are getting that. So the children, and we are going to see items and see 0. Oh, sorry, this is going to give us an error. So I'm going to have to wrap this or put this inside a widget. So text and put 0 there. I'll copy this. Let me duplicate it. So I'll say delete this. Shift 1 2 3 2. So let's restart. Oh, we are still working with int, so we say to string, but then we can't always be typing to string, right? So there's this approach. I mean, it's still going to give us an error. So there's this approach which we call interpolation. Okay, not even interpolation. So what we are going to do is that this whole thing is a variable, right? So we cut it and then put this thing in quotes, and whenever the whole thing is in quotes, it takes. Now if I do this and I print, let me comment this 2 out. If I do this, you see it has item 1 here. It prints the value of 1, and here it prints item 1. This is not what we want. We want the value. Okay, so we can put a $sign in front of this. It's still going to say, it's going to call items, and then this is wrong. So we are going to say a $sign, a curly bracket, and then another curly bracket afterwards. Okay, am I doing this right? So if you do that, so a $sign simply means that treat this thing as a variable, but if there's a curly bracket, it means you can treat this as a function. Okay, so we have the list 1 and then list 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so we can use that to display the items in our list. So I'll just duplicate this line, and as you can see, 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2, like that. This is not what we want. We want to list them from 1 to. So this is the cross axis. That means you have to. Now if I'm to change this to 1, you are going to see you are going to see 1 2, it is also scrollable, so you are going to see the values here. I think it's way too small, so I think I might just have to add a style and say Japanese style. Hey, let me not do this, please. Okay. Which one is that? Let me just put my text out there. And say font size. And say 8. Let me say 20. And put 30. So I'll copy the style over. So this is what we get. Okay, now we want a grade, not a list. So you can change the cross axis count to say 4, and then we are going to get it like this. Okay, if you change it to 3, we are going to get 3 columns. Okay, so that's basically grade. That is when we are using count. Now if you are not using count and you don't know the number of items, so we are going to use builder. So this builder also takes, let me delete all this. Now I'll keep one of this, so let me cut it. So I am going to delete this thing. And this one takes a builder called this item builder, okay, just like we saw over there, and then a grid delegate. So let's look at item builder, and it also takes a build context and then the index. So we are going to say this and say return this. After the return statement, we are going to put a semicolon. Okay, yeah, to put a semicolon. Any line that has return is going to have a semicolon. Let me just delete this. Okay, and then the next thing it takes, put a column here, comma. Okay, is delegate or delegate, grade delegate. Okay, grade delegate, and then this takes a value of sliver grade delegate, but we have different types of that. So with fixed cross axis, with max cross axis, with fixed cross axis count. Okay, so we have these two. So we are going to use this fixed cross axis count. Okay, so cross axis count is what we saw earlier, that is the number of columns. Okay, so we are going to say 2. So when we save this, that's what we have, right? So it has, this is printing all the items in the list. Or I'm lying. And let's see, item count. So we want only 10 items. So we save this, and this is only going to print 10 items, right? So why should we use this thing? So instead of using items I, you can put index, this index there, so that I start from 0 to, it start from 1 to, so 1 2 3 4 5 up to 10. Okay, so this is how you display a grid of items, and these are all scrollable widgets. So when it gets to the end, you can scroll. Okay, and because of that, this takes a property or parameter, argument, whatever, called controller, and this controller is a scroll controller. Okay, so we use that scroll controller to control how to scroll this widget. I'm not even doing that, we will do that later. So that is all about list. You have this grid and then we have the list. See you in the next